keep looking for purpose out of all the pain and suffering. Quite literally tortured. I think that maybe most of my life tortured in some ways, but what I discovered, what I began seeing around 2016 far surpassed what I had been through from about 1999 on. And I mean, these people were drugging me. They were setting things up. There was cameras in my own home. I remember even seeing them filming and saying, they're there all the time. And it just got to a point where I just thought, oh, it must be something to do with some of my criminal clients. I didn't really think I was as much the target. And I did realize later I actually was. And these are some very messed up people, because this is attached to criminals and companies that really do live snuff. They are actually full on killing children, and it's by demand. People are paying them for this. And it's worse. I mean, I have the info, I have the proof. You'd think it would be a little easier to have the police get back to me on things, especially with 2 attempts on my life. It's very easy to show and prove. But as I've already, my conclusion on things, at least to this date, is that you cannot get the corrupt parts of the world to perform as if they're good. They're not of God. They're not going to be, waking up to prayer with God and thanking Jesus for anything. They're the opposite. What's their reward for doing the evil of the day? And the police attached to the Masons, apparently they've had something to do with this too. Coincidentally, when I talked about StarNet and the club and all the things that they were up to, it's interesting because when StarNet moved and changed their names and so forth, they moved to the exact same block as, like, there's at least 2 Masonic halls, the Vancouver Masons, the Odd Fellows. I mean, they're all on the same block. I mean, this is really the darkest, evilest block in the whole city of Vancouver, maybe Canada, maybe the world. I mean, they're up to some very dark stuff. It's not working, although it did for a while. They were drugging me, and they did some very mean things, and apparently all filmed to a point where they burned a house down to hide what was in the film, because they were not wanting the location revealed, because they're trying to tell a story, and it's probably a bullshit story. So you can't have the police and a everyday person able to go, hey, that is the basement of this building. So they burnt it down. It's just, it's so dark. But here's the thing. What was the purpose of it? Well, I'm trying to find a purpose, and here's the purpose that I found. That I can help people that are being put through similar situations to understand that as bad as they get, the darkest they get, the entire part of what they're doing, what they really want to accomplish is they want you to fight back with being bad. And I didn't. I continued to go forward, thanking God for my safety. I felt truly blessed that I was surviving this lesson. And I knew that there was a lesson there. And it is a lesson from God. And some of the most painful lessons are also the most rewarding. And I'm not talking about winning lotto tickets or anything. I'm talking about this winning temple, this mind of God, this gift from God. That's the win. Because when you have the mental ability to still love the evil people of the world, to still, and I actually do, I feel sorry for them. I actually have absolute, whereas you have to even consider that loving them is even more important than loving another person like myself that is of God and can understand the pain and suffering of a fool. And they're fools, and they've been tricked. So the rewards and all the things they get, Satan, whatever, the nice house, the nice boat, the millions of dollars, and their lives are absolutely no better, and all the wealth in the world. And there's some, I think it was Jim Carrey that said, once you have it all, you realize that that's not what you were looking for. And this is true. You can have all the wealth of the world, finally get it, sold your soul. What is it to gain the world and lose your soul? I mean, there's lines within the Bible that say these things, and they're just not considered the way they should be. These are real problems, and you get nothing good from doing bad. So love thy enemy, and sometimes loving thy enemy is many of the people around you, but it can also be yourself. Because it was these people were only able to get to me with alcohol consumption, and then they would poison me. Bad company, bad environment leads to bad results. So I can't pin it all on the bad people. I made some bad choices, and alcohol was one of them. I would say that alcohol consumption and drugs are the first thing that you need to do to clean up your life. And it's the things that work best for me. And I'd never drink again in my life. I will never even consider it. So the lessons and the pain and the suffering, and they're still going on. These people are still trying to attack me. It's not working. That said, not too comfortable sitting down at a restaurant, maybe with my daughter, say on Commercial Drive, where someone could just walk up and put one in my head. Which I don't think they really can anymore. But this is what they wanted to do, and this is what they tried. Unique too is that it seems they could have actually killed me, but they were more intense on drugging me and doing other things. So I may be a little off on that as well, because over and over again they were really drugging me. There was times where I was crawling home and seen, and it wasn't even believed that I said, "Oh no, I'm fine." I wasn't, and I wouldn't have said that. I would have said, "No, call an ambulance, call the police." And for some reason I didn't. And this drug is called Devil's Breath, and apparently you'll drain your bank accounts. You'll kill your mother. This is a very, very dark drug that eliminates your consciousness to the point where you just do what you're told. Drain your bank account quite often, and this is 50,000 cases in Colombia a year. That's a lot of cases. Canada is not as much, but they're using it in similar fashions to get people to be very different from who they are. And they were trying to set me up for something, and they can't. The thing is, my soul is so tight and connected to higher self and good that I don't think they can or could. And here's the thing. The lesson for me and what comes out of it is that this is some of the biggest, most torturous suffering anyone could ever be put through. And yet, I'm still able to come out of it with nothing but love. I still love everything and everyone. I still forgive all the baddest people too. Here's the difference though. Sometimes it's a little tougher when you see they're still doing bad. But this is still not my life and my problems. I'm not attached to them in any other ways than they're targeting me. But I still love and forgive. And this is something that I think that I can teach other people to help. And to see that what I could go through, that means you can do it too. You can actually get through the toughest, meanest people in the world, still loving them, still being kind, and being the person you are, not the person they're trying to make you into. Because none of us are really bad. That's just tricks. The fear is a trick. It's all tricks. That's all they got. The devil's just got lies. He's the father of lies. And this is true. And his children seem to be a little on that fence too. But children of God don't lie. I do not lie. Never will lie. If I did lie, it would have been what I'd call a mistake. And then I would correct it. And I would say, oh, that was wrong. I was wrong. Because there's nothing wrong with being wrong. It's just learning from being wrong and learning the lessons in life. And the lessons I learned are love wins. They don't get to win with me. Love wins. And God bless everyone. And in that journey to find that love is the winner.